On Capital FM 99.7, ZRA moving with the times. Hello and welcome. This is the first episode of ZRA moving with the times. Today we feature the Director, Innovation and Project Management, CHIBALE CHIMAMBO. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, sir.
On this program, we'll be looking at innovations, related to ZRA. As you know, the Zambia Revenue Authority came into being on the 1st April 1994. It is a semi-autonomous body that was formed with the mandate to collect and account for all government revenue from taxes. However, one will still question the need of having ZRA. Why not have an arm of government like any other ministry, or keep the department under the Ministry of Finance? So what is the background to all this? CHIBALE CHIMAMBO.
Thank you, Ambassador. First and foremost, ZRA is a semi-autonomous body. We collect taxes on behalf of the government. We are governed by a board which is appointed by the Minister of Finance. I think the government then and now thought that we need to separate the policy from administration. So creating the Zambia Revenue Authority as a semi-autonomous body to execute on the policy that government gives around tax matters is the reason why ZRA, I think, is seated separately as a semi-autonomous body from the parent ministry, which is the Ministry of Finance. So that way we create efficiencies in our collections of various taxes. We create accountability for those taxes, and it creates it increases the chances for us to maximize revenue for the Zambian government.
Tell me, CHIBALE, the million kwacha question is, why should I pay tax? Why?
Yes, it is a million kwacha question. But as you know, paying taxes is a civic responsibility for each and every citizen of the country. Beyond that, all businesses that are happening in Zambia, have the obligation to pay taxes. And we are governed by, I think, 3 or 4 tax laws. The Customs and Excise Act, the Income Tax Act, the Value Added Tax Act. Those laws stipulate the need, for businesses and in certain instances, individuals, to pay their fair share of taxes. But over and above that, in the grand scheme of things, that is how government runs its operations. From health, education, infrastructure, etc., the civil service. So without the taxes that you and I pay, there's no way the government, would be able to run, the way we expect the government to run.
Another important question, CHIBALE. What are my benefits?
Well, the benefits are many. As you can see, from health, as a simple example, if we want to provide quality health systems for the country, for our citizens, that money comes from taxes. If you look at the government budget, yes, there is donor funds, but it's less than 50% of the budget allocation. The rest of it, the bulk of it, about 60–70% comes from tax revenue. And so for us to get the benefits of paying taxes, and those benefits, like I said, health. Another good example is security, the police service and other wings of security. Our children have to go to school, whether it's government or private school, we still benefit. And so there's a million reasons, why as a good citizen, we should be tax compliant.
Tell me how you have fared.
We have fared fairly well, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. we have been quite aggressive in making sure that the authority is modern and modernized. So we've done a lot of initiatives around digitization of the authority, from the various interaction points. So I'll give some simple examples. So as a taxpayer, you are obliged to file your returns. You're obliged to pay for the returns that you have filed. If you're importing, you're also obliged to pay, the customs duties at the various entry points into the country. Whereas in the past, all that work was paper-based.
Yeah.
And as you can imagine, papers come with risks. The paper can get lost, a paper can get forged, etc., etc. But what we have done is we've gone on an aggressive campaign to digitize our operations, both from internal perspective, but more importantly from customer interaction, which is a taxpayer interaction perspective. So as we speak right now, the authority, for you to file your return, you can do it online, you can do it on our website, you can do it on your phone. We have an app. You can also do it in USSD, the way you do your mobile money.
Right.
You can file your returns like that. Similarly, when it comes to payments, we have digitized the payment platforms.
Right.
Over 90% of our payments come through banks or mobile money. We've ensured that we've made it much, much easier for our taxpayers to be tax compliant. And one of the biggest problems we've seen over the years is a compliance problem.
Yeah.
And compliance is made difficult by our procedures. Our internal and procedures as we interact with our taxpayers. But we thought over the years that let's make it easy for compliance to happen. And so we've done quite a lot of digitization initiatives. We've been aggressively innovative in the past few years. And we hope that it will pay dividends. And we've already started seeing the dividends being accrued to the authority. We're seeing compliance numbers going up. We are seeing a lot more digital transactions. Even we get a lot of queries on how they can, people can file, for instance, on our platforms, meaning that people are listening and are also appreciating the various automations that we have done.
Welcome to Tax on App. With Tax on App, you can pay your taxes and file returns wherever you are using your smartphone or tablet. It's easy, safe, and convenient. In this video, we show you how to log in. To get started, download the Tax on App from the App Store or Google Play Store. Once app is installed, open the application and click the Sign In button. If you are already registered with ZRA, enter your taxpayer identification number and the password that you use on Tax Online. If you would like the app to store your login information, click on the box next to the words Remember Me. Click on the Sign In button and you will be able to access your account. Now that you're logged in, you will be able to pay for your taxes and file your returns from your phone. For more information, call ZRA on 4111 or visit www.zra.org.zm. You can also email advice@zra.org.zm. The Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Are there any reasons, Chibale, why, some people don't pay, tax? What are the major, reasons?
Well, the reasons could be many and varied. One of the reasons we have noticed is the fact that sometimes people don't know their obligations. All right. Sometimes people assume that I've got a very small business and as such I shouldn't pay. But the laws are there and they explain exactly who should pay and perhaps who shouldn't pay. But for as long as we're in business, you're supposed to pay. So that lack of understanding is one of the reasons that people shun away from paying. But you may want to know that we have a unit that specifically does taxpayer education. And the reason why is that we want to bridge the gap between, knowing the obligations of paying tax, but also how we should do, fulfill those obligations. So we have a specific unit that deals with customer experience, and in there, taxpayer education is a big, agenda item in there. And so what we have done is we go out to the communities. We have strong presence online on Facebook. We do almost every week, we do taxpayer education sessions. And we also do targeted education sessions. So if we identify that, for instance, SMEs who deal with maybe groceries are lacking the knowledge of certain obligations, we target them. If it's the hotel industry, hospitality industry, we target them, etc., etc. So right now, as we speak, there's a session happening with the Bureau d'Assurance on teaching them how to be tax compliant. So there are various ways in which we are trying to, to achieve this, and we use various channels, whether it's physical, we're trying to educate our people.
Are there any moves to increase, to broaden, the tax base? Because there are a lot of people making money. Some of them are not paying tax, especially those in informal, sectors.
Yes.
Are there moves to increase, the base?
Yes, we are actually actively engaged with the local authorities, because we know the local authorities manage bus stations, markets, etc., etc., and that's where the bulk of this informal sector is. So we signed a memorandum of an understanding about a year or so ago, with the sole purpose of broadening that tax base. And also encouraging, educating people about their obligations. And we are slowly seeing, dividends, being accrued in that regard. And we are glad that there is also now, with the new government, a ministry dealing with SMEs, and we want to take advantage of that. That's one of the many ways in which we can broaden the tax base. And so, yes, we are aggressively, trying to broaden that tax base.
What else, Chibale, can a taxpayer look forward to? What is the future? Where is ZRA, going?
We are becoming more and more innovative, and we believe it's through innovation, that we can reach out to, our taxpayers. We are also aggressively teaching our taxpayers, but more importantly, we are simplifying our business processes to make compliance easier. So both as we interact with the taxpayers and also as we do our back office processes, we are simplifying those processes so that we are quicker, we are more efficient and more effective in our execution of our mandate. And we hope through that process, taxpayers will find it easier to interact with us. And also will find us as a friendly partner in economic development.
Tell me, you just made reference to interaction. How do I, taxpayer, interact with ZRA?
Well, we have many interaction points, channels, if you like. We have a call center where people can call. 4111 is our toll-free line. They can call and interact with a number of officers in that space. What we've also done is that we want to bring our services as close as possible, to where the taxpayers are. So we have opened offices in a number of malls. So we have East Park, we have ECL Mall on the Copper Belt, we have Cosmopolitan, and in future we want to open a few more. So we have these service centers, and we have another one at Changa House in Dola, and in Kitwe, at head office in Osaka. All those, the physical channels in which we can interact. But we are also present on social media platforms. We are present on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. So our taxpayers can interact with us on those various channels. But also, as as an open institution, we do one-on-one interactions. If there's a specific problem that needs to be dealt with by a specific individual, we are ready to sit on a desk and discuss those issues. So there are various ways in which we want to interact with our taxpayers, and we are open and free. Feel free to interact with us in those channels.
Lately, Chibale, we hear reports that you're not just meeting the target, you've been doing much better. Do you owe this to the innovation that we've been talking about in this program?
Well, yes. As an institution, we've done a lot, to ensure that we collect the right taxes for the government. Modernization and innovation is one of the ways. Debt recovery is another way, and also ensuring that we are a friendly tax authority. Sometimes, whereas in the past or generally, people don't want to interact with the taxman, but we want to show the friendly face to make sure that we can have a win-win situation between the tax authority and the business community out there. So our strategy in the past few years, has shifted quite significantly to make ourselves a bit more friendly to our taxpayers.
Your final word, to the taxpayer, Chibale?
Well, we are here to serve them. We are here to serve you, taxpayers. And feel free to interact with us in any of our service centers. You can call our call center, even on an individual basis. Please feel free to interact with us, and we'll make sure that we resolve your issues, and we'll make sure that we make it easier for you to comply.
This has been the face in the series, ZRA, moving with the times. And to you, all taxpayers, remember, my tax, your tax, our destiny. On behalf of my guest, CHIBALE CHIMAMBO, who is Director, Innovation and Project Management, I'm Frank Mutubila.